All right, and we're live. Welcome back, y'all, to Real Chill Conversations. We have Dominique today as a special guest. Thank you for joining us today. Y'all let me know if I sound good. So I have a little mic on. And today we're going to be talking about what's our purpose here. And Dominic, he actually came up with the topic. So first, I want to ask, what made you come up with this topic?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on the show. It is really a privilege to be able to speak to people and impart information in people because I think some conversations are a necessity, and I think the one we're gonna have tonight is a necessity. The reason why I chose to have this conversation is because I just feel like across the board in the culture and the world we live in today, we do a lot of talk about relationships, money, dealing with people, but we don't
You cut off there, Dominic. You're still here, Brenna.
I'm here. Hey
Okay,
guys.
I think he cut off there.
Yeah.
Dominic, are you still there? You might want to come out and come back in because we can't hear you. Okay, so while we get him back, y'all, I'm gonna start with this. To me, and I'm glad he brought this topic up because he was like, let's not talk about. I don't want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about what's our purpose here. So, and I think that's a very good topic. When he mentioned that, I immediately thought about what what does that mean to me. Purpose makes me want to be a better person. Um, Starting with being good to myself and others. I mean, that's something that I try to instill in myself as always. So those are the things that make me feel good. Um, let's see if he comes back in. Okay, he's back. There you go.
Okay, okay. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Go
Yes, we
ahead.
can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, as I was saying, in our culture and in the world we live in today, there's been a lot of talks about relationships, finding the right person, finding this person, what to avoid when it comes to relationships. But you don't hear too many conversations being had about who we are as a person. Like what is our purpose? What's the reason why we're here? And would it be a devastation to find the perfect relationship, find a perfect career, and live the dream life, but never know your purpose, the reason why you're here? So that's one of the reasons why I came up with the title because I feel like purpose is one of the main things we're living for because we're here for a reason. Nobody here is a mistake. Everybody here has a gift. Everybody here has value, and the gift that we have, if we don't use it, if we don't do it, people around us will suffer, just like the human body. The human body has different functions and different members, but yet they have different roles. But if one member of that human body doesn't perform its role, the whole body suffers. Therefore,
Wow.
therefore, you have a little, the small toe seems very insignificant, but it's very significant to the role and to the outcome of the body. So we all function just like the human body when it comes to our gifts and our purpose. And if we don't operate in it, I truly believe that people around us are affected from it. I always ask myself the question when I see people on the side of the road and who just, going through life, what if the reason why that person is on the side of the road because you're not operating your purpose?
That's a good question.
Very good question. That's very profound when you think about it. And using
And
the human body, as a reference, because that's very true. If one particular aspect of the human body is not functioning, then it can bring the whole entire system goes down.
exactly,
Um, and we, as human beings and being here on this earth, if we're not living in our purpose and fulfilling our purpose, then that can certainly have impact to the others that are around us, because we were not meant to be here in this world alone. So we know that.
exactly.
And so it's quite impactful that you bring this up, and I'm eager to get into it and dissect this with y'all tonight.
Yeah, and I per se can't tell anybody or tell people what their purpose is, but I can share with them principles that will lead them to their purpose. And one of the principles that I like to hit on or I like to talk about is like, okay, what is purpose? First of all, you know, purpose is it's the reason, it's the intentions for a thing, it's the reason why a thing is created, and the purpose of a thing can only come from the creator of a thing. And reason why this is like a kind of like a sticky topic because you know a lot of us, especially according to our childhood upbringing, we don't have the same belief about when it comes to who the creator is or if there is a creator. You have some people who don't believe in a creator and some people who do believe in the creator. And that could be, challenges for some people to receive the principle I'm sharing with them. But, you know, at the end of the day, we all know for a fact that we can't disagree upon that we didn't create ourselves. We all came from someone. And so
Right.
That is
that
absolutely true. Um, I think without purpose, we would be lost.
exactly,
So
exactly.
with no destination, it's like just jumping in a car nowadays, and we need our GPS to get somewhere, but we don't have it. So it's pretty much, I'm comparing it to that. Like, we don't know which way to go. And today on this topic is really going to open a lot of people's eyes. And like you said, some people believe in the creator. I do. I'm one of those.
That's good to know.
Um,
Yep.
so I definitely believe that, God gave us all a purpose, and we just have to bring it to, if we don't know where we're going, then it's definitely, that's very challenging. So um
And
go
so
ahead, I'm sorry, you wanted to say something.
yeah, and the thing is like when you don't know what your purpose is, it means you playing Russian roulette with your life, for lack of a better word. It's a hit or miss because if you don't know your purpose, that means that you are not being intentional about your living. And so if you're not being intentional about the way that you live, that means you're treating your life as an experiment that's learned by experience. And me personally, I don't believe life. I don't believe that you can learn life through experience because reason why I say that is because we all have a destiny. And with us all having a destiny, this also implies that it was predestined for us to have a destiny. So if your life is already, and predestined means predetermined. So if your life has already been predetermined, that means that there is a life that's already been set up for you, that's been predetermined before you started the destination to your destiny. So if you don't know your purpose, it means you can't be living intensely according to your purpose for the reason why you're living. So basically, you're just living life through an experiment. And when you know you're
And
not
that is
actually,
so unfulfilling. Like,
yes, yes,
it doesn't
yes,
feel right. What I wanted to ask this question. I mean, I wanted to ask this question first. What are the very things that are holding that you think may be holding us back to fully getting to our potential of knowing our purpose?
Um, just now, like we, a lot of times it's due to a lack of teaching. Um, Most of the times, unfortunate, I ain't gonna say unfortunate. The place you need to go to find out your purpose is through the Creator, because, like I said, the purpose of a thing is given by the Creator of a thing. So, in order for you to get your purpose, you have to go to the Creator. And most of the times, where we go to place to learn information about the Creator, we're actually not getting taught. We're being preached. And the difference between preaching and teaching is
Yes.
preaching gives inspiration, teaching
Right.
gives information. And most of the times when we go to the place where we learn about our Creator, like the place of church, we're not being taught. We're being preached. So we're getting an experience. We get an emotional experience. We're not getting information about how to live our life or
And
how
we
to find
do
our
get
purpose.
and we do get preached about the enemy, but I want to say
Yes.
this. What about our attachments?
What you mean by attachment?
Is it really the enemy or is it our attachments?
See, that's a good question.
Someone
Yeah.
said
That's a good question.
hell is empty because all the devil is here. Bernice, hey Bernice. She
Uh,
said hell is empty because all the devil is here.
now, I can't. Well, now I do agree that we do have some. We do have that. We do have those devils here on earth. But like as Dominic asked, like is it us, or is it our, is it the enemy, or is it our attachments? Well, for me, how I would answer that question is, because I always like to put the blame on me. Because if I don't put the blame on me, that means I'm blaming somebody else for my situation or my reason for not knowing nothing. And
Right.
so I'm really developing a victim mentality, because I'm
So
saying.
you know how the reason I'm asking that is because when they preach to us, well, some people when they preach, they say the enemy
Hmm.
a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I did start to wonder, well, what about our attachments?
See,
Because that's very interesting.
it is because it starts with us, and then from that
Yes.
standpoint, just to answer that question, it's not the enemy, because the enemy has been defeated. He just hasn't been destroyed.
Mm.
So
Okay.
the enemy is not our problem. What our problem is a lack of information, a lack of knowledge.
And I
That's our problem.
believe, and the reason I brought that up too is because I do believe that our attachments are a problem. And
Yeah.
like you said, that goes back to us,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're attaching ourselves to relationships. We're attaching ourselves to jobs
To
and
jobs.
all kind of stuff where we don't belong. And
Mm-hmm.
we
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
hold on to these things and we don't want to let go of them.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
some of them are very toxic and
Right.
terrible for us, but we're just hanging
We're
there.
just hanging on to it anyway because we're so consumed with what we think we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be living from some outside perspective that's been preached to us without the
Absolutely.
right information. And once you get the right information, and once you start living with intention and making intentional choices and having intentional connections, then I think the GPS starts to release itself and the guidance and the navigation is able to flow through.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think that I've noticed that when I think about, the early years and kind of just getting a start in life and how I was living and the things that I thought were important. And it was kind of like just the basic expectation 101 of what you're taught in school, of what your family kind of tells you, and you're supposed to make this amount of money and live this kind of way, and you don't want to be worrying about buying groceries and having to buy food and doing this, and then if you're taking care of kids you want to live a certain way and a lifestyle and all of that. So when you stop doing things and having the attachments that weigh us down, and again, make intentional choices, intentional decisions, surround yourself with intentional people.
Hmm.
When you surround yourself, I think, with like-minded individuals, I think it also allows you to be clearer in your
Is
decision making
it
and your
does.
thought process.
It does.
Because I know there was a time when I was surrounded myself with people that had different mindsets and mind frames. It was kind of confusing,
Hmm.
and it was a time of a lot of question, a lot of self-doubt, and a lot of, well, let me try this and let me see if this works and let me see if that works. And like you said, the whole just kind of just doing an experience, like, let me just try this and try that. Like, no, I mean, it's one thing to go through those things, and then we have lessons from those experiences.
Hmm.
But I think, again, it really does come down to the number one factor, and then that's the intention, and having that intention there.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Brenna, because I also wanted to say this. When you free yourself, you're letting go of things that no longer define who you are.
Yes.
And, that goes back to me saying attachments. Like, we're holding on to dear life for things that doesn't even mean us no good.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and we're so afraid to let it go because that's the only thing we know.
That's all we know. That's
So,
all we
I
know.
know change, y'all, is very uncomfortable.
But it's so worth
Very
it. It's so
uncomfortable.
worth it. It is so worth it. You just have to
But
give it a chance. And go ahead.
right, to me, change is a gem, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so let's talk, let me jump into this too, because this ties back to what we're actually talking about. Remember when I was talking about detachment? And
Yes.
I know some people was like, detachment? She's cold. But no, like, I really wanna put detachment in here. And Dominic, tell me how what you think about this. What about mastering detachment? Because this will actually allow you to think, right? I know we all have emotions, but also to help you get rid of things in your life that is not getting you on the right path to your purpose.
I mean, that comes along with um that comes along with having a clear vision. Because once you have a clear vision of where you're going, you automatically know where you shouldn't go. Like if I'm in Birmingham and if I'm driving to Atlanta, I have to have the directions of where I'm going. Once I get the directions of where I'm going, I automatically know I need to go 59, take 59 east. So I'm not going to think about going north or think about going south or going west because that's not the destination or that's not the location of where I'm going. I have a
Right. It's
vision of
not
where
it's
I'm
not the
going.
Right.
instruction you were given.
So
Right.
automatically, when you have a vision of where you're going, it automatically helps you free from those detachments because you understand those detachments are distractions.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because I wanted to put that in there because I've talked about that a lot. And I think when I started detaching myself away from things, I had more of a clear vision on where I wanted to go. Now, I do get misdirected sometimes. I'm human, it happens. But I definitely, get myself back on track. And some people, I do want to say this because I was actually talking to my coworker about this topic today because he was very excited. Um, and I was trying to tell him that, some people, they find their purpose in a good job or a business. Maybe their purpose is to marry a good guy or a good girl, take care of your family, and make a lot of money. Um, but as I grew older, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I did see some of those things as as my purpose in life.
Yes.
And as I got older, I grew older to understand that it's way more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have the perfect husband, you can
Mm-hmm.
have the perfect house, you can have $1 million in your bank account, you could be in a jet, baby, you could be in a Lambo or whatever the case may be, and you may still feel empty in the inside.
Exactly. Exactly. And this a lot of times what we see, because we see people, we see times, especially now day and time, we see a lot of times where we, from the outside, we see a person who have all those things, and then they go through some tragic where, for teaching purposes, it may be like a suicide event that happened, and we all ask ourselves, like, what made that person do that? That person had this going on. They was doing
Right.
this. They was doing that, but yet they wasn't fulfilled because they wasn't living their purpose. And you're not going to be fulfilled regardless of all those things that you're chasing. You're not going to be fulfilled until you fulfill your purpose. And most of the times we are deceived by the attachments, because the thing that we are attached to, and it's hard for us to detach from. It's a necessity. It's not.
Exactly.
It's not
And I'm
something.
glad you said that because that ties back, to some people that get married with other people and they're not even happy because
Right.
they look at their relationship as a necessity.
Right.
Like, I have to have this in order to be at this level. Or
Mm-hmm.
I need to, I don't know. Like, it's a lot. It's just a lot.
It
But
is.
Bernice said Bill and Melinda Gates are prime example divorce. Who is that? Oh, it's a
Bill and
time.
Melinda.
It's a time to love and a time to hate. Um, well, I'm reading the comments right now. This is what
Hmm. Hmm.
she was saying, but we can. I believe we, like, just my opinion. We cannot tie. Well, I cannot tie my value to people,
Exactly.
items,
Exactly.
money, relationships, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't need approval from anybody
Right.
but God and myself. So as long as I'm okay, you know, God has approved of whatever it is that I'm doing, then I'm okay. And I'll keep walking in my purpose.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's when it comes to having people's approval, and most of the, because the things that you're naming, we're we are attaching to ourselves. We are attaching ourselves to these things because we're trying to keep up an image.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's an image, and most of the times, the image, majority of the times, the image that we're holding up is not even our true image, because our image is not something that's tangible. It's something that's intangible. But we're using tangible things, to validate our image. And the unfortunate thing about that is that once you don't have those tangible things, so goes your image.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's not the image. That's how you know that it's really like for lack of a better word, a youthful approach to our image. Your image is based upon the name that's upon you. And for human beings, we have been made in the image and likeness of God. Like, if like, for instance, y'all into fashion and things like that. So when it comes to a purse, depending on what image or the logo of that purse is, tell you its value of the purse. So if the purse has Louis Vuitton, has the name Louis Vuitton, that's the image of the purse. that
Not
determines.
all of us, Dominic.
I,
Okay.
okay,
I had
I
to
mean,
put that in there. I'm sorry. I don't own not one Louis Vuitton purse. But
I
I
mean,
get what you're saying.
for you just using it as just using it as an example.
Yeah.
I know you come off not to be a person who's materialistic, but just using it for an example because we're familiar with the name Louis Vuitton. Or I can
Yeah.
even use, well, some people value. I value Apple as the top class when it comes to cell phones. Some people don't,
Mhm.
but depending on the image that's on the product or the created thing, normally tell you its value. Like when you have if you have a iPhone and you just bought it and it's not working,
Right.
one of the things you're probably gonna say, no, there's something wrong. This is an Apple. This is the Apple product. This phone's supposed to work.
Right.
You're saying that because of the image, the logo
Yes.
that's on the phone. So by it being an Apple phone, you have a certain value or a certain expectation that you have for it because
Yes.
of the image that's on it.
Expectation. Yes.
So in the same way, when it comes to human beings, we have been made in the image and likeness of God. And the only way we can find out our true image is to find out who He is and how He operates. And most of the time, like I said, the reason why it's far, it's not learned or it's unlearned because we're not in proper places where we're being taught information about who we are as a people. Like, who am I? Like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Because, living according to an image or to God's image is not how we live life here on earth. The way that you find out your image or receive your image from the creator of God is through faith. And faith comes by hearing. And most of the times we're not hearing accurate information. We're hearing erroneous information.
That's right.
We hear that you know we'll say this. This is a can of this is going down the rabbit hole. We'll say this. I'm not perfect. I'm human. We say that all the time. I'm not perfect. I'm human. Well, okay. Well, if you made in the image and likeness of God, God is not a human. God is a God. So if God gave birth to something, let me ask you this: if a dog gives birth to something, what would it be?
A dog.
A dog, exactly. If a cat gave birth to something, what would it be?
A
That's
cat.
right.
Okay, so if God give birth to something, I didn't say create now. He created man. He didn't give birth to man. He created man. So if he give birth to something, what would it be?
God.
Small God.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
We're not being taught the information, and it's hard for people to receive that information because of the information they've been taught before.
Hmm.
We Most of the times people who go to churches, they've been taught to live like humans. We are not humans if we've been birthed by God. So therefore, if we don't recognize that principle, we're going to be living life like humans, and we're not created in the image of human beings. If you're born again, if you believe in God, if you believe that He's your Father, that's that's the thing. If you believe that He's your Father, then you're no longer a human being. You've been born. That's where the term "born again" comes from,
Mm,
because you've been born again. You was born the
mm,
first time as a human. You've been born again as a God, and so now
okay.
you have to train yourself up and renew your mind from living like a human to
Yes.
living like a God.
The mindset. I was going to say it's that's the shift in the mindset.
Exactly, exactly,
Bernice said, we need to remember who we are.
exactly, exactly. We haven't been taught accurate information on who we are, because to us, in our minds, in our human minds, to say that we're God is kind of like braggadocious. Or who you
Yes.
think you are?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this dude right here is crazy. This dude say he
Mm-hmm.
God, but that's what that's what the Creator has said. He said, "You are my children." We don't disagree with that. That if I would say I was a child of God, nobody would disagree with that. But if I say I'm a
You're
God,
right.
If I say I'm a God, then it's a disagreement because we automatically say in our mind, "Oh, he's saying he can do what he want to do. He think he above everybody. Who he think he is?"
Right.
But all that is saying is my mind is being renewed
Mm-hmm.
because it's foolish in humanly thinking or worldly thinking. It's foolish to think that you're a God because I'm looking at you, and what I see right now is a human being, but I'm not living by what I see. I'm living by my belief.
That's really good perspective.
Yeah, it is.
Miss Bernice, what do you think about that? Give me something else. What do you think about what Dominic just said? Put it in the comments. I know you said we need to remember who we are, but
Can we bring her on?
give me a little bit more. Um, unless someone can drop the link in the
Oh,
comment section.
okay.
She say, I agree. Okay, but why do you agree? Give me a little bit more, because I know you be on this, so I know. Let's see if she put something in the comments.
But yeah, it's that is one of the barriers that we face when it comes to finding out about our purpose. We're not most of the times we're not in teaching environments where we're learning principles, learning information, where we're being taught definitions, where we're being taught, understanding what this means, what that means. Because, like for instance, like um, certain words that's written um, may not mean have the same meaning that we have in our world today. Like when you hear the word wisdom, you may think information or knowledge, but when it comes to when it comes to learning how the Creator speaks, how God speaks, um, different words are spelled the same way, but it can have a different meaning. Like for instance, the word bat, B-A-T. It's spelled the same way, but it has different meanings. It could be a baseball bat that you use to play in a sport, or it could be an animal. So we need to be in environments where we're actually being taught so we can break down the understanding of these words or with the meaning of something so we can have accurate information. Because
Do
think
you
about it now.
believe? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that life anxiety plays a major part when it comes to like trying to find our purpose in life?
Um,
Because
I
we
think.
have so much going on. It's
Hmm.
like if it's not this, is that, is like we live in a roller coaster, a lot of us. And sometimes we just get anxiety from all the things that we go through.
And the reason why we have anxiety because we lack information. Like for instance, if we got a product, let's say for instance we putting together a
Mhm.
bed set, and when something goes wrong, if something goes wrong with the bed set when we put it together, we automatically, we don't say, "Oh, this doesn't work. Uh, this is this is not true."
Right.
No, we look at the instructions, the instruction manual that the bed came with, and look at, okay, this is how it should work. So once we run into a problem, we don't say that it doesn't work. We say, "Hello, it's something I'm not doing wrong because the instruction says this." And most of the times, the reason why we have life anxiety because we don't have the instructions. We don't have the proper instructions. We don't have we're not reading or learning about the instruction manual because once you have information or accurate information, that takes away anxiety.
Hmm. What you think about that, Brenna?
I like that. I like that. Because it seems to me that a lot of anxiety, it's a combination of the unknown
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
being overwhelmed because of the unknown. You don't know this, so you don't know this. You don't know the answer to A, so now therefore you don't know what to do about B. And then you have C over here, and then there's D, and then there's E, and then there's F, and there's G, and then H, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even think about what's coming after that. What am I going to do? Oh no. And then it just throws your whole system into turmoil. But if you have information, if you have
I
instructions to go back to, you get on the right path with your navigation, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to have that unknown. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to have that feeling of being overwhelmed because you're going to know what to do at the next step.
And
Miss
anxiety.
Bernice said it's hard to keep it's hard to keep up information. It's constantly coming and we don't know what's true or not.
It is a challenge. It is a
Yeah,
challenge.
it definitely is a
Um,
Oh,
challenge.
say that
but
again, because honey, I like to read
Research. Yep.
and read. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is a lot of information. Um,
and
so
I
yeah,
was
I did wanted to talk about life anxiety because I did want to throw that on there in there because it's like some of us go crazy trying to figure it out.
and then anxiety is a form of stress, and stress comes from not knowing what to do. So,
Right.
which means the cure to stress is knowing what to do.
What knowing to what to do. Yeah.
And trust me, life is not. I tell people all the time, for all the life problems and situations, there is a solution, there is an answer. But we have to go to the human resource department. God
Mm.
is our human resource. The same way on the job when your benefits is not posting right, or you have a problem with your benefits, or you have an
Or you're
That's
issue
not
on the
sure,
right.
or
job.
you're
Talk
not
to the
sure you're
creator.
not sure what to select. You don't know what's the best choice for your family, for,
Exactly.
you know,
You go to the human
yeah,
resource department, ask,
yeah.
get information. Okay, what should I sign up for? Okay,
So let me ask you this, Dominic. So since we're on this topic of information and we're talking about information, we're talking about instructions. And then we've talked about the feeling of being overwhelmed and how there is so much, I'll say quote unquote information out there because not all of the information that is presented to us is actual and factual, right?
mm-hmm,
We know that
mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that are hearsays, rumors, just things that are just aren't so. What kind of advice or guidance would you give someone as they're trying to navigate through the information and the instructions? How do they know that the information that they're receiving is actual and factual and valid?
Well, normally how we would know that the information that we're receiving is factual and valid is usually, for me, it's through an inner witness. It's like the small still voice, like um um it's like you hearing something that's foreign or something that's new or something that's new against your previous or your current belief.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you hearing the information, you don't know if the information is true, but like, it's like, but the inner witness tell you like that's right, that's true, that's yet your mind still
So
don't
your
know how it
inner
is
self,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct,
Okay.
correct. Because see, the thing about truth is a person. Truth is
Mm.
not just a statement. Truth is a person, a real person, and the truth resonates with you.
Yes.
So when it comes to you receiving the truth on the inside of you will resonate with you and tell you what is right, what is accurate. And normally what happens is you'll start seeing signs according to the truth that you have in the inner witness. Like for instance, you ever plan something to do something and it was somebody you need to meet and you know the place you need to go meet them at, and then you take off right then when that voice inside of you say go. And as
Yes.
you go into that place to meet that person, the person is coming out at the same time you walking up. Or you go to meet the person there, and the person tells you, normally around this time I'm gone,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still
Right.
here. It's because of the inner witness that you had to go.
To go
Mm-hmm.
at that
So,
time.
so right
So
Yeah.
then
you
you
were in
don't
the
know
right place at the right time.
exactly. See, you don't see when you receive the information in your mind, you don't know if it's true or accurate, but you just moving on the inner witness, and as you move on it, it begins to show you signs that hey, what I was hearing was true, was accurate. I should have went. I should have.
So are you also telling us that we need to trust our inner selves more? Do we
Trust.
need to be more trusting of that feeling? Because I think that
You
that's
should.
something that we question.
You should. You should.
Okay.
You should. You should. We all have a guidance, man. We all have a GPS on it within us, and the GPS always leads us to our destination. Listen to the inner witness on the inside of you. Like
Yeah.
most of the times, we say something told you ever been in a situation where you had an inner witness that say do this, and then you didn't do it, and they said something
Yes.
told me to do this.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Something told me. Or you even heard the saying warning come before destruction.
Yes. Yes.
Like I knew I
Yes.
shouldn't have went there,
Yes.
man. Some told me not to go to that party today. Some told me not to go to
Mm-hmm.
man. Some told me not to hang around that person. The inner
Right.
witness. And most of
Right.
the times, because we have so many attachments, we don't follow it.
Yeah.
Or to follow the inner witness is not the popular thing to do right then. So a lot of
Yep.
times, and then too, when you have the inner witness to do it, it takes courage to do it as well. Because it takes courage to do the right thing. And most of the times, majority of people are not doing the right thing because they lack courage. They not encouraged. They lack courage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be seen this way. I don't want to be seen that way. Be caught up in the wrong image.
Right. Right. That's so true. So,
So it's
so
like
true.
once you start to follow these, once you start to, when you start following and living life on purpose, a lot of things will seem unnecessary to you. Won't seem, fitting to do anymore because it's not according to your purpose. And a lot of times, we find things and it's only gonna work temporarily because guess what? Even though we fighting it off, if you still not in your purpose, it's not gonna really change.
And
It's,
change, like I said, is very uncomfortable.
Very, very uncomfortable, but
Um,
it's so worth it.
but
yeah, it
that's the
is,
thing. That's the thing though. You the greats
but it's purposeful,
to
Mm-hmm.
be great you can't be comfortable.
That's right.
right?
Like the champions in life, they are champions because they fought through uncomfortable situations.
Every ending has a new beginning.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Every
Exactly.
ending has
Absolutely.
a new beginning. But if you don't take action, you are just delaying your blessing. I mean, that's
I
just
love that.
me.
Yeah.
Real.
Like,
Real.
I love that.
you
100%
know,
accurate. But that's what that's what life is all about. It's all about living purpose, living like. But when I leave, well, I ain't gonna say when I leave, but while I'm here on Earth, that's one thing I want to do. I want to accomplish my purpose, the reason why I am here, and that's one of the reasons why I um, asked to be on live with you all tonight because I wanted to be intentional about just doing something
and you
that's
know
according to
what
my
I
purpose.
noticed is that you really post a lot of things for people to think about.
Yes, yes,
And so I was like, oh my God, like this would be so cool if, you can get it out
yeah.
Yeah.
actually in a platform.
Yeah. I tell people all the time. I don't make posts to. I make posts to talk to your conscience.
You're very intentional about it.
Yeah.
Very, very intentional about it because it's needed. It's a necessity. People
Yeah.
need to know once you understand your purpose, you can understand your value. Once you understand your value, you can start loving yourself unconditionally. But until you learn your purpose, those things are not going to come to you. Everything that you, the things that you want in life is in line with your purpose.
Yes. And what I've come to recognize and realize, when I see people that are truly fulfilled and are truly happy, like genuinely and sincerely, not based off of anything materialistic or putting any monetary value on anything, but people that are just in a state of joy and bliss and are
Yes.
loving on themselves and just have this
Yeah.
Go
glow
ahead
and
and
have
say
this
it because I know where you're going.
Yes, have this glow about them. You can tell that they are moving intentionally. They are living intentionally. They are walking in their purpose or walking towards their purpose. They're either, in the state of their navigation to get to their
Absolutely.
destination, but along the way, they're making very intentional decisions and choices. And with that are the blessings that they start to receive. And it's just it's wonderful to be able to see that within people, and certainly of course within
And
yourself individually.
now that you mentioned that, Brenda, a lot of people would ask me till this day. A lot of people ask me, "Why are you so nice?"
Yeah.
Um, but I realized that I wasn't worried about what people would like, any favors that I did or anything. I never expected anything in return, even when I'm nice to people
Right.
as well. So I would just let people talk and be like, okay, I'm too nice, I guess. So I never changed who I was, and I don't want to change that about me because I believe that is one of the things that make me a better person.
Yeah,
See, that's how
And
that's how
not
you stand
not
out.
a better person with everybody else, but just within myself,
within
because
yourself,
this is a me
absolutely.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, every
Absolutely.
day I just want to be better than yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I
And,
agree.
and
And I'm
I'm
still
always
learning.
I've always been a person. If everybody's doing it, I don't want to do it because if everybody's doing it, it's got to be the wrong thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Yeah,
to have
that's a good point.
the strength and the courage to know that you might be on a one person island. You might be on the island, by yourself. It might be lonely, and it might be that way for a minute, but hey, that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's part of the uncomfortableness that comes with change, and with the growth and making intentional choices and intentional decisions as you're walking, towards your purpose and walking in your purpose as you're navigating to get to that destination.
And some people, I admire some people's, like, a lot of people, well, some people in my circle, hearts, because the way it's set up, they don't have to tell it what to do. It just comes
Yeah,
out,
it just
you
Hmm.
comes
know,
out.
and it's just
Yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
I like that. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to surround myself with people like that. So
You have
I
to.
Yeah.
love that. Like, you don't have to tell your heart what to do. It just do, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah, that's a good one. Bernice said they not like us.
But it's in this world we live in. It's challenging for people to be themselves because it's such
Yeah.
the culture we live in is so caught up on doing what's popular, being that popular person or being in this crowd, being known as this person or that person. But it's a tragic to keep up with all these things that's really not you. And I can attest to a time where um, when I was in college, when I first went to college. When I first went to college, I was a virgin. And in the world, the culture that we live in, being a virgin is not a popular thing. And because I lacked information at the time, um, I used to frown upon myself because I was a virgin. So with the crowd that I hung out with, that was the popular thing to do, to have, to not be a virgin. So
Right.
me not having, that healthy self esteem or proper information or understanding the value of being a virgin, I no longer wanted to. But now, looking back at it, have I known what I know now, I would have had more healthy self esteem about myself.
Yeah.
I would
I
have been
think
able
I,
to.
I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that we do as we were younger, and then reflecting back to it now that we're older and more mature, where we would have valued it more.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
the whole time I was trying to keep up with the image. And I never forget this because a friend of mine that I went to school with, we recently ran across each other. And the first conversation we had, she said, Dominique Hardy. She said, you know what I remember about you, I used to like about you, is that you used to hang around some of the most whorish, doggish dudes, but you will always be yourself.
Yep.
But she didn't know at the time that I was insecure about the person who I really was, because I was trying to
Mm,
be like the person, be like the people that I was hanging around. But
right.
I
And
didn't
she was
find
Mhm.
admiring you for not
as
being that way.
Right.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like when it comes to doing those popular things and we chasing them, we really don't recognize at the time we really setting ourselves short, or we're not really valuing ourselves as we should, because
Yeah.
we have these false images and these childish goals or childish images that we have that we want to display. We want to be known as this
Well,
person.
I'll say this, your worth is definitely not on what others see, but where you were created to be. So,
Yeah, I like that.
mm.
Yeah. I do too.
I like that.
Definitely, I learned that. I had to learn that. So, confidence is faith. Um, what are one of the things that made you when did you realize your purpose in life, Dominic?
Um,
What time in your life?
I can't say the exact time, but I
Mhm.
can say that as I began to learn the principles, one of the people I used to, that helped me find my purpose is, y'all ever heard of a guy by the name of Dr. Miles Monroe?
It
I have
sounds
not.
sounds kind of familiar. Like I've heard it before, but I can't really place.
Yeah, he was a minister out of the Bahamas, and he have a series of teachings. Like a lot of his teachings is the purpose of this, the purpose of that. And one of the books that I read from him that opened me up to my
Mm.
purpose was, I read the book Understand the Power and Purpose of Man, and I read the book Understand the Power and Purpose of Women.
Mm-hmm.
And in those books, he just basically shared the principles, some of the principles that I'm sharing with y'all tonight. He just basically had these principles, like just simple understandings about purpose. And me understanding those principles led me to understand what my purpose was, because one of the things that he says is that your purpose is always in line with your gift. And your gift is something that you would naturally do if nobody pays you to do it. Like
Right,
and
right.
your purpose and your gift is in line with solving a problem. And when it comes to problems, to find out what problem that you want to solve, what is something that bothers you, that you see wrong in the world? It pains you, it grabs you, it makes you on the inside. Like, why is it like that? Normally those are indicators that's in line with our purpose. Because once you have a problem and you come up with a solution, and you have a desire for the solution, it brings out an outcome that makes people's lives better around you.
Right.
um so I would say, what helped me find my purpose is that I located a problem. and a problem that used to pain that pains me even to this day. When people don't have accurate information about who they are as a person, about who God is, or how to walk by faith, when they're not being properly taught, that
So
pains
let's
me.
I have a question now that you said that. Let me be
Okay.
intentional about this. So what do you think about when we place ourselves in other people's lives who may need this? But they're not doing, because sometimes we say, oh well, we don't need to be with this person because of what I started with. Like we don't need to be holding on to things. But what if you were placed there?
Um.
Seasonal.
Season, reason, or change, right?
Right.
Um. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see how can I answer that question. Could
Because
you give
a
me?
lot of us want, some people will be like, well, I don't need to be in that relationship no more, or I don't need to. And I'm going to put it as relationship as an example.
Hmm.
Um, well, I don't need to be there no more. But what if we were placed there
And see
to
that
do
that's
something as seasonal?
and see that's when it comes to relationships. Um.
Or
When it
put,
comes
you
to,
don't have to put relationships, just make
I mean,
any other example.
I say relationships because relationships could either be a relationship with a job, not just with a person.
Right.
It could
That is
be
Mm-hmm.
that
correct.
it could be that you need to be in it, even though you don't like the job.
Yeah.
It can be that you're there for a season to learn something, to grab something that's going to help you for your purpose, because you know that this is not the finished product, or this is not the the vision, but this is a training ground that's going to help you for your vision.
This is the training ground. Yes. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for. Okay.
So
Thank you.
and most of the times, when it comes to relationships, it's when it comes to living on purpose, living life on purpose, you got to understand that it's about us, but it's really not about us, because
Right.
like I said,
I agree with that.
your purpose is a benefit to you, but a blessing to others.
Yeah, I love
Mm.
that.
Because, like, say for instance, like um the person who created the light was Thomas Edison. Okay, he created the light bulb. He benefited from creating the light bulb, but it's been a blessing to the world, because guess what? We still have light bulbs to this day, and he's not around. So, say for instance, if he didn't do his purpose, it wouldn't be a blessing to us because he didn't fulfill it, and it would be a benefit to him because he didn't do it. So it's
Yeah.
like when it comes to certain relationships or certain places that you're in a season, sometimes it's not about us. Sometimes we're in that place to reach somebody else, or
Yes.
to meet a person that we need to meet later on down the road.
Yes.
You may come across a person. Hey, oh, I know you may come across a person at a job that you don't like, but it's a person that's there that knows somebody that you need to know.
And sometimes, for me, just my opinion, God gave us certain gifts. And like, maybe, for example, Ronaldo. I'll give this example because my coworker gave this example. Like, he's a very known superstar soccer player.
Yes.
But what
Mm-hmm.
did
Mm-hmm.
he do? He had the blessing of knowing, being a professional soccer player, got money. What did he do with his money?
What did he do?
What he that's what he was asking. Like, what did he do with his money? Like, if God gives you a gift, what
Mm-hmm.
do you do with the revenue that you get from it? Do you just ball out and you
No,
know
no. I mean, that's see that's the thing too. Like, the revenue that we receive is, see, now
or
we going
use it to
we going
help others?
see
Or would you
that's
use it to help others?
and that's the whole reason for you being blessed, The reason
Right.
for you to being blessed is for you to be a blessing to others.
Exactly.
And most of the times, that's not what we see. We see, okay, this is mine. Okay,
Yeah.
well, which is not true because once you leave, it guess what? It's not going with you. So how is it yours? So,
Exactly.
so when it comes to revenue and wealth, you know, to think that it's all for you is kind of foolish because,
Yeah.
like I said, you can't take it with you. It don't, and it only magnifies the person that you really are. It doesn't change. I don't believe that it changes you. I believe it's only magnify the person that you are because if you are a stingy person when you don't have a lot, you're gonna be a stingy person when you have a lot. If you are a loving person when you don't have nothing, you're gonna be a loving person when you have something. So,
Right. And to
like,
me, it's still like those, like you'll still probably be lost. I mean, I don't know because I don't have $1 million, right? But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I would be if I'm not helping people because for my purpose, I feel like I was placed here to help others in need.
hmm
And whether if it's a problem, an issue, whatever, if I have the money or whatever the case may be, I would do it. Um, and a lot of people, they look at purpose in other eyes. Like I said, their best career, how their successful career looks, how their perfect family will look. And I'm just putting those examples out there because some people don't think past those things.
and see, and then too, when it comes to revenue, it comes to wealth and money. See, it's also a purpose with that. And guess what? Anytime you don't know the purpose of anything, you will abuse it. That's why people,
Exactly.
abuse money or abuse their wealth or even abuse children or abuse people because they
Yes.
don't know the purpose of things. And when you don't know the
Yes.
purpose of anything, you're gonna abuse it. So when it comes to money, we have to understand what's the purpose of it. And the purpose of you having money is just for you to be self-sufficient, but also for you to be a blessing towards others. Because guess what?
Exactly, for you to be a blessing. And Miss Bernice just said that. She said, you are a blessing for others.
Exactly. Like
Yes.
what and then how you find out your purpose with using that money
Yeah.
is to find out the problem that you want to solve. What, like I said before, what problem in the world pains you? Like when you see somebody on the side of the street, that it really grabs you because if it pains you, that could be also means that you have a purpose to do something about it. Like you're really passionate about doing, and you would do it with no money. And most of the times, when it comes to doing things like that, we don't do it because guess what? We don't have the money. But if you move out
Right.
and do it and move out on that vision, guess what'll happen? Money will come with that vision because with a vision comes provision.
Absolutely.
You ever seen somebody come out with an idea and they didn't have no money to do it? Well, I'll say this. You ever seen somebody buy a house? They buy the house, but yet they don't have no money to get the furniture. But as they buy the house and continue to stay in it, everything that's pop up, like somebody may come visit your house. Oh, you don't have a couch. Oh, I got a couch in the garage that you can get. Oh, I seen
Right.
this couch on Facebook Market for $30 that you can get.
Exactly.
You see, but it came because you took that initial step in buying the house, and
Yeah.
everything that you needed to fulfill the house to make the house a home came along as you took a step out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how most of the times things work. But we really don't move on them because we really think that okay, which is true. You got to have money to do things, but you don't have to have money to start things.
I
Yeah.
have a question. It's another question. Um, do you believe that purpose find you or you find purpose? As far
Um,
as
when I say, I think a better word to say is that is to say we don't find our purpose. We discover it because your
right.
purpose your purpose is within you. it's already in you. Whatever that you designed to do is already in you. So it's not you finding it because we know you know where you are. It's in you, and you have to find out what's in you. Like it's like your purpose is similar to an inheritance. Well, in order to find out what your inheritance is, you got to read what's in it. You got to discover what's in it. And once you find out what's in your inheritance, then you can enjoy the benefits of your inheritance. So in the same way, I think when it comes to our purpose, once we discover our purpose, it opens us up to what we have been inherited to do. So I think like we have to be intentional about discovering what it is, and it's certain principles that you have to follow to find out what that purpose is once you discover it.
And I do believe that once you discover your purpose, it is the key to your fulfillment.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
yes,
it will definitely make you feel good.
Yeah.
yes.
I
It
agree.
will definitely make you feel good. And I also believe that if you don't understand purpose, it doesn't matter how rich, again, I'm gonna say, you are, you will not be fully fulfilled, satisfied, or happy in your life. That's why we see a lot of people doing certain things. Um, Miss
It's,
Bernice said, purpose find you if you don't find it.
it'll most definitely hit you in your face.
It
Yep.
will.
Like,
That's what I meant too about finding you,
okay,
because
okay.
eventually, it's gonna be like, what you doing?
Because
Right.
because I truly believe life is full of blessings and
Yes.
and wins. Like so, when it comes to when it comes to life, if you're not if you're not experiencing winning, that means that you're not losing. That means you're learning a lesson. And it's
Mhm.
not fun learning the same lesson over and over and over and over again. That's not fun at all. That's not how life's supposed to be, going through the same thing over and over. The reason why you're going through the same thing over and over is because you haven't learned the lesson. Once you
Mm.
once you learn the lesson, then there's the blessing. But most of the times when it comes to our purpose and us not fulfilling our purpose, it's because we're not learning the lesson that's right before us.
Yeah.
And and the only way you can learn the lesson before you is to start with you, because you the common denominator in every situation that you're in, whether good or bad. So you can't blame nobody else, for you not learning your purpose. It has to always be coming back to you. Okay, what is it I'm not doing? Okay, yeah, that person said something wrong to me or didn't treat me right, but I'll allow that person to have control of me to the point that I lost self control. I act out of
So,
character
Miss,
because
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no, go ahead.
Miss Bernice. Now that you said that, purpose find you if you don't find it. What do you think happens when you just don't get it and you're not gonna go for it?
Oh man, good question. Chaos, abuse. You basically abuse your life because, like I said before, once you don't know the purpose of something, you abuse it. If you don't know the purpose of money, guess what you're gonna do to the money? You're gonna abuse it. If you don't know the purpose of a car, guess what? You're gonna abuse it. The purpose, the car has a certain purpose. It serves a certain purpose. It's to drive on the road. So therefore,
She said her daughter is a doctor and she didn't look for it.
hmm, it's something that she discovered that she like to do.
Yeah. But I'm saying, what if you never discover it, never pay attention to it?
Yep.
What
It's,
happens? I know
mm-mm.
that you'll be lost, but is it like a very deep, I don't want to say
It,
that
it,
word.
it's stressful. It's stressful for a square to try to live as a circle because it was purpose to be a square. So if you don't, if the square is not being a square, it's gonna experience chaos because guess what? The square is not going to fit in a circle.
But
only
some
going to
people
fit.
don't believe in purpose. Some people just believe that they're just here just
Hmm.
because.
See, I think that,
Everybody doesn't believe that they actually came here,
but
and they actually have a purpose in life. Some
that's
people
a
feel like they don't.
I see that is a choice. The reason why I say there's a choice because
I think he went off. What do you have to say about that, Brenna?
I think that, of course, as he said, chaos and a lot of abuse. But I think that, these are the times in which people are, they're most miserable. They're most um, sad times, their most unfulfilled times, their most tragic times. I think that it's just putting them on a course to just be,
Hmm.
and you're kind of just existing, you're not really living.
Um, yeah, that's how we would look at it. But, there are, like I was telling Dominic, there are some people that feel like that believe that there's not a purpose of why they're
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
Also, people who believe life has no objective or meaning or value. Um, so, I mean, I know that it's already been said, based on facts that you'll be lost. There's no GPS and no direction of where you're going, but it can have some major repercussions in your life, like very bad. Um, Bernice said after COVID, we should have had, oh, I can't say that word.
Mm.
Dominic, if you want to come back in, just click the link back in. I don't know what happened to you. Bernice said after, you know, CO,
Mhm.
we should have all had counseling for a year. Free for a year. That's a very good point. I
Oh
think we
yeah.
all should have, because a lot of things actually revealed themselves, especially during that time.
Oh yes. That was a very difficult time in the entire world, not just here in the United States, not just here in Georgia, not just in one particular region or area, but the whole world. It was very, very unsettling. And like you said, a lot of things were revealed during that time.
excuse me, ladies, my phone was on 1% and cut off, so I had to get my battery, my
Oh,
portable
you're
charger.
fine.
Yeah, so excuse me, not being it, I wasn't being intentional.
No, it was an accident. Bernice said, we are still discovering secrets.
Still discovering secrets.
Yes, after she was talking about after COVID. I don't want to say the word.
CO COVID.
Yes, she said we should all have had counseling free for a year
You know what?
after.
That was a major, there was a major impact on a lot of us because sometimes I still feel like it still feel like to me the pandemic was like a year or two ago.
Yes,
It seemed like it was just yesterday. It's 5 years ago.
right. It was devastating, Miss Bernice. And I never thought that I would live to see something like that. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yeah, it was like she said, we still discovering a lot of secrets with that because I just about that whole season, that whole time, I have so many questions in my head because it was just like the things that I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but the things that I know are just basic information, and basic
Mhm.
information that I know was not how we were doing things. Like that was the first time that I've ever heard that you start quarantine the healthy. Normally, when you quarantine, it's the sick, not the healthy.
Right.
And also, when it comes to, I know when it comes to viruses and germs, is that the way that you defeat it is through exposure. Because once you are exposed to it, your immune system builds up a defense for it and fights off the virus or the germs. Like for instance, because we have been, because so many of us have been exposed to certain viruses, our immune system has built a defense for it to a point that it's not a problem anymore. Like for instance, when I was coming up, there was a thing, a virus going around called the chicken pox.
Right.
Well, in our day and time, you don't see, I haven't seen any cases of chicken pox like I did growing up. And it's because we have all been exposed to it, and our immune system has to develop a defense against it. So the more people that's been exposed to it, the better.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was exposed to it and I got it and it was horrible. I had it as a kid. It was horrible. Horrible.
Bernice
Horrible.
said, we finding out they lied. Oh, that's for sure.
I mean, and then too, when it came to the came to the the vaccines that they were having and stuff like that. Well, I know in our country we don't cure things, we treat it. So, what's the side effects to this vaccine? Because we have medicines that say, okay, it will treat this, but it may cause that. And in my head, if I'm taking my
Right.
car, if I'm taking my car to the auto shop to get my motor fixed, they say, yeah, we can fix it, but maybe 2 months down the road, your alternator is going to mess up. I'm gonna say, well, don't do anything then, because I'm not bringing you my car to create more problems later on down the road.
Right.
So that's what raised up questions for me to even trust in the vaccine, because I'm like, what's the side effects of this? And normally for a vaccine, it takes 10 years to get approval from the FDA.
They approved it fast this time,
Well, they fast tracked that thing for sure.
didn't it? Felt like we was in a she said it was a military experiment warp seed.
But that's the thing, though. Like I said, when it comes to, that's why it's come. That's why it's really imperative that you have accurate information, and that you're living life on purpose. Because if not, you will run across information, or you'll run across information from mad scientists and take it as, okay, this is true. This is what this is what the expert is saying. So this is what I need to do because the expert has X, Y, and Z, and they have this title. So I believe in the information that they're giving out, but fail to realize that when it comes to medicine or in the medical field, it's not about curing, it's about treating, because treating keeps you coming in. If I cure you, you don't need for me to come back in anymore.
Right.
Right.
So that's my thing about, when it comes to,
Or
medicines.
let's just say money.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
It's
That's
all
that's
about that.
it's all about the money at the end of the day. And so, like, that's why I had to question the vaccine. Okay, well, what's really going on? Because X, Y, and Z, but we're not doing that right now.
Hmm.
What's the reason behind that? Money.
Right. She said Dr. Fauci's going to bars, behind bars. I ain't gonna say that. Okay, Mr. Dees. Yeah.
But I remember what I was saying before my phone cut off. I was saying that like you said, some people don't believe they have purpose, and
Yeah.
I said that's a choice, because we all have the ability to believe in something.
Right. But I feel like it's major repercussions when you just ignore it.
It really is. It really is.
Um,
It's really self destruction.
and yeah, very. If yes, you can self destruct yourself,
Because
literally.
if I don't believe that I have a reason for living, that means also I'm going to think that you don't have a reason for living. So I'm not going to value you as a person.
Right. That's what I just yeah, I was telling Brenna that like some people believe there's no value to life. Like,
Yep.
they don't they just and some people just believe that. And I mean, it's sad to see that because there actually is. And but I think would be able to tell because there would be no value in anything there. She said we ignore our instinct all the time.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
yes.
Yes, we do. We really do. All right. We've been in this thing for like an hour and 19 minutes now, and we had a very good conversation tonight. So I want to thank both of you for coming in tonight. And I want to get some final thoughts. So Brenna, do you have any final thoughts for today?
I just want to restate that the whole choice to be intentional
Mhm.
is a journey that's so worth the travel. And I encourage anyone that is feeling that they just don't know, what's next, to, get a little quiet and just pause, take a beat, and then start making intentional decisions and choices for yourself. Think about what brings you joy, what kind of things matter to you, what things are important. When you start identifying those things as well, I think that helps you kind of understand, what you align with. And I think what you align with has a lot to do with what your purpose is. Like, you have an affinity for helping people, I have an affinity for helping people. You have an affinity for wanting to um be able to talk things out in a conversation and to discuss things, and as do I. So that's something that we have that's very much in common and very much, similar. So our mindsets in that way are very much alike. So I think that's why, for years and years and years, we've been in each other's lives now. So, I'll just circle back to that. Make the intentional choices, and start seeing the lights in the sky, and a smile on your face, and start feeling some joy, and live.
That's good.
Thank you. And Dominic, do you have any final thoughts?
What I would say is for people to allow themselves to believe in the utopia that they carry. Allow themselves to believe in themselves like they did when they were a kid. Um, because life is life is not an life is not an experiment that you learn by experience. Life is spiritual, and in order for you to really learn who you really are, the essence of who you really are is a spiritual person. You are a spiritual being. Um,
That is, yes.
and so allow yourself to allow yourself to learn the essence of who you really are, regardless of the hurt, the pain that you have learning from your childhood upbringing. Allow yourself to believe again. Don't allow yourself to be don't allow yourself to not believe based on an event that happened. Allow yourself to just to push past it because you know at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember the things that you had. You're going to be remembered for the things that you did, and we all have a legacy to leave, and you can only live that legacy by living out your purpose. Otherwise, if you don't live out your purpose, you're basically abusing your life and yourself as well.
And yes, Miss Bernice said, love the conversation. I was off work tonight. Well, thank you for coming in and thank you for actually engaging in the conversation. And everybody else who joined us tonight, thank you all as well. My final thoughts would be opening the love connection. If you're a believer, I know I am. So that's one of the things that I have done in my life, which was to open the love connection between me and God. Um, and by doing that, I can walk in the purpose of what I was brought here to do, versus searching for it. So um, I just want to say that.
And also, I want to say thank y'all. Like I said, I know I said it before, but thank y'all for allowing me to have conversation, speak on y'all platform. Like I really don't take this lightly. The fact that you gave me the opportunity, I take it as it's really a privilege and an honor to be
Well,
able.
thank you. It's a
Yes, we
privilege for
appreciate
us
it.
to have you
Yes.
here.
Yes. Love the conversation. Love the fact that you brought up the topic and that we were able to connect tonight and have a great episode.
Right. This was so this conversation was like smooth, interesting, everything. It was like I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really did.
Lots of information, lots of great takeaways, lots of aha moments, and an opportunity to take a different look at things from a different perspective. I love different
Exactly.
perspectives. I love them, and I've been exposed to so many and in tonight's conversation. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Dominic.
And
All
we and,
right.
and we and with y'all saying that, just be prepared for things are going to start happening to confirm what you heard tonight as well. Like the conversation that we had tonight, things going forward is going to happen. It's like, oh, guess what? Yeah, that's what we was talking about right then. It just it's going to. I'm telling you, it's because the reason why I say that because there's nothing on earth more powerful than the human will. Whatever the human
Exactly.
will want, it will get. And because now you have opened yourself up, you have made deposit of new information inside the will, inside your soul. Now the earth is going to respond to what you have inside of you.
I love that.
Absolutely. I love that. I like that too.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. And Miss Bernice, clapping hands.
Thank you, Miss Bernice.
All
Thank you.
right. You all have a great night.
Good night,
Bye bye.
everybody.
Good
Till
night.
next time.
Good night.